Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining the daily check-in with Russell of Hotels. I almost lost my train of thought for that split second. Hope you guys are doing well today. This is the daily check-in with Russell of Hotels, live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on Instagram. Okay, so let me just make sure that it is the way it is. Okay, yeah, it's connecting. It's connecting. So normally on Mondays, I have Miss Tiffany here to join me. And but you know what? I think she's traveling. I don't know. I'm really not sure because I text her. I get a notification every whenever we're supposed to do this, right? That but she didn't respond. So I think she said that she was traveling today. I don't know if it was a cruise or something like that. I can't remember, but I guess I'll find out later, right? But that's okay. The show still goes on, right? I still got to do a show regardless if Miss Tiffany is here or not. So anyway, hope you guys are doing well. So feel free to make your comments. The chat is open. It's open everywhere. The chat is open everywhere. We're open on LinkedIn. We're open on YouTube, Facebook, on Instagram. Okay, so just go ahead and make your comments. This will not be that long today. I'm gonna try to keep it brief as possible, but it's gonna be about at least 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. It's all about hospitality, right? It's all about just checking in and just kind of, giving people my thoughts on the industry, and especially when it comes to like meeting service and marketing or branding, elevating your brand. Those are kind of things that I kind of focus on. I don't want to get too wild and out there, for some people, but you know what? To me, it's all about elevating your brand. Okay. And that hence the reason why I do this show and do the other show that I do is called On Air with Russell of Hotels. Um, that hospitality show, that live hospitality show that everyone's talking about. So I do that one on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. That means tomorrow. And then I do this one Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you got 5 days a week of me. Okay. 5 days a week of me. If you didn't want it, then I'm sorry, but you still got 5 days a week of me. Okay. Anyway, so I see on Instagram, I see Become Your Own Boss podcast. Okay. Become Your Own Boss podcast. I appreciate you coming on. You got any comments? I mean, feel free to make your comments down there. I'll make sure I read those because on Instagram, I got to pop back and forth from one platform to another platform, but that's okay. That's what I do, and I'm used to doing it. So feel free to make your comments, and we'll go from there. But I appreciate you. So, I started a podcast like back in 2009. Yeah, 2019. That was before like Facebook Live and all that stuff came up, where now you have a video podcast, right? Like this is a video podcast, or I call it a live hospitality talk show. That's what I call mine, but it's basically a podcast. Meaning this can be 100% audio if you want it to be. I can extract the audio portion and put it on a file, and then upload it to podcast platform and all that stuff. I mean, I can do that. I've done that before, but I choose this route now. I choose the more visual, route, because when I first started, it was 100% a podcast, like basically like a radio station, right? So it's just me talking, but I said, you know what? I got to add a little something to it, so I had to add me. Bing. So now that's why you got me. Okay. So, but anyway, I don't know this thing right here. I'm always checking stuff, right? And I'm like, something don't look right. Something right here is like, I don't know if that's supposed to be here. It's something on the screen that you can't. I mean, you can't see it, but it's starting to bother me. It's starting to bother me. Anyway, I always do these shows, or I'll never do a show where I'm not showcasing a hotel or a destination. Okay. And shout out to, in fact, let me get over here. Shout out to Miss Debbie Vale. Debbie Vale. In fact, let me stop this right here. I think I've seen that enough. Okay, so shout out to Miss Debbie Vale. She's a sales manager with visitpasadena.com. We had lunch last week, right? So I had to postpone a lunch that I had with her maybe about a month ago because I got injured, right? I was doing something, maybe I shouldn't have been doing, and I slipped and I fell and I basically severely strained my hamstring, right? And it took forever to heal. So it was like maybe a week and a half before I was supposed to meet with her. And it had not well, it's still not completely healed, but it's a lot better now. So I was able to meet with her just on Friday. So we had planned this about a month ago. So I mean, shout out to her for being flexible. As salespeople, we got to be flexible. Okay, not everything goes according to plan, but if you're flexible, I think that's a good thing, right? I think that makes for a good sales manager if you're flexible. But if you're not, that doesn't make for a good sales manager. So thank you so much, Miss Debbie Vale, for being flexible. So we went to lunch and we went to, and I wish I took a picture of the food, but I needed a picture with her, me and her and the food, right? But I didn't do that. I didn't think about that. It was more about the conversation and more about, catching up and, what she's working on, what I'm working on, Pasadena, all those kind of things. So we talked about those things. So I didn't really focus on taking the photos and all that. But anyway, that's beside the point. But the restaurant we went to was called, you've heard of was it Father Nature? Instead of Mother Nature, it was called Father Nature. And they had a lot of vegan options because I'm 100% plant-based. That's what I eat. So it was like a Mediterranean type of restaurant where they had, the shawarmas, the wraps, and they have falafels. And that's, of course, I love falafels. I'm always in search of a great falafel. Okay. So the falafels were good. Okay. I'm not gonna say they weren't. They were pretty damn tasty. Okay. So shout out to Father Nature. Right there in right off of Colorado Boulevard, which is the main thoroughfare in Pasadena. But yeah, so it was good. It was good. I would definitely go back. I would just go back just to go, right? Because there's other things on the menu that I want to try. But the wrap was the falafel wrap was spicy. Okay, so I've had falafel wraps before at other places, but they weren't spicy. This one advertised spicy and they delivered spicy. Okay, because sometimes, because I don't know if you guys know me, but I love spicy foods. Okay, I grew up eating spicy food, so of course that just followed me the rest of my life. So when someone says, "Oh, it's spicy," damn it, it better be spicy. Okay, or I'm like taking it back, like add some more of this supposedly spicy sauce on it. But no, it was good. So I love Mediterranean food. Oh my God. So falafels, that's my thing. That's my thing. So yeah, so thank you, or I'm gonna shout out to Father Nature, and shout out to Miss Debbie Vale for recommending that restaurant and taking me there and hanging out with me and catching up and I find out like she's a movie buff. Like I go to the movies every week. She goes to the movies too, right? So we talked about some movies that she'd seen, and I just actually saw one of the same movies. So her and I have to have a conversation about what she thought about this one particular movie. It was called Drama. Okay, you saw Drama with Zendaya. Is it Zendaya? Zendaya? Yeah, that's her name. Yeah, Zendaya, Robert Patterson. So it was a good movie. So I mean, I guess it's kind of controversial or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how these movies become controversial, and I didn't think that was a controversial movie. But critics will say what they say. But no, we'll have to talk about that. But so it was good to just kind of just to talk and just hang out, and was of course you go there, thinking you're going to talk about, some work things, right? In my business and what she does with Pasadena, visit Pasadena. But it was more of like just reconnecting. And it wasn't 100% about business. And that's what you want, right? We're always talking about, forming relationships and all those kind of things. Well, that's what this was about, right? That was about, I mean, I've known her for years, right? But we haven't caught up. I've seen her at different shows and conferences, but we're busy doing what we do. So it was good to just kind of just her and I just kind of talked, and I get to see her interests, she gets to see mine, and now I can tailor conversations based on that, and she can tailor conversations based on that as well for me, right? So that's what it's all about, right? It's just about connecting, and it's not always about selling. Okay, it's about finding discovery, is the discovering information about you, or that person, that client, with who they book and all that stuff. Yeah, it's about that as well, but it's not about selling. It's more about, when I was talking about the brand, it's always about uplifting you as a person, which uplifts you as a brand as well, right? Because you are the brand. So there you go. So do I have a chat here? Do I have something in the comment? Hey, can folks, how are you doing? And this is Floyd headed to work. Hey, what's up, cousin? That's cousin Floyd. Hey, what's going on? I see you, cousin. Have a nice day headed to work. All right, you have a nice day as well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate that. Hey, we have to get together for lunch. Okay, I have not forgotten. It's just that you know stuff is happening, but no, we have to get together for lunch. You, and Lloyd. Okay, so we all have to get together for lunch. So I have not forgotten. So don't think that. It's just that just things of life be life in some time. Okay, I'll just say that. And I say, Mr. Cheeto, Cheeto, what's going on, Cheeto? Thank you for so much for your continued support. Appreciate you. So okay, so let's get into it as far as but once again, thank you, Debbie Vale. I think I did say that. Let's see. Thank you again, Debbie Vale. Appreciate you. Boom. I'll do it again. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you sticking with the program, and we actually did get together and meet and talk about all kind of stuff. And there you go. So I always say I never do one of these shows, and when I don't showcase a hotel, well, I said, I didn't take photos of the lunch or Debbie or Pasadena when I was there. So I said, you know what? Do I have anything in my files that I can, regurgitate, if you will, right? And Courtyard Marriott, Old Pasadena, right? So this is one of the hotels that are part of the Visit Pasadena. So I'll showcase the hotel Courtyard by Marriott, which is not your traditional Courtyard by Marriott. Okay, it's not traditional. But anyways, 314 guest rooms, 4,120 square feet of meeting space. They got this bar here. So they're not long from a renovation, right? Maybe a couple years, but it looks good. It shows well. It flows like a regular hotel. It's not like a limited service or select service hotels. It flows like a full service hotel, if you will, right? But yeah, it's one of my favorite courtyards as far as the decor, the design. The location, of course, is in Old Town Sacramento, which is walkable to a lot of um, restaurants. Everything always has to be geared around food for me, right? So it's walkable to a lot of things within the Old Town Pasadena. So if you've never been to Old Town, so, and one thing that Debbie and I talked about, and I brought this up, I said, Pasadena is not just about the Rose Bowl and the Rose Parade. I mean, there's 365, 364 other days that they do things. They don't just do the Parade and that's it, right? No, there's a lot of things. There's museums, there's the Old Town, a lot of historical things in Pasadena. So if you've never been there before, and it's very walkable. So, and I always look for that. As far when it comes to groups, you always look for things that are walkable, so attendees can walk to malls, to stores, to shops, that are indigenous to that area. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about, right? It's all about discovering those destinations that you may have gone to those destinations, but you never thought about them. Because I think about things from a meeting perspective, a group perspective. You like 10 rooms or more, 10 people or more coming and kind of experiencing. Why can I say that? To experience a destination, right? And yeah, Pasadena has a lot to offer, and they have quite a few non-meat eats places, restaurants. Okay, non-meat eats. I mean, vegan or plant-based options, because that's what I'm all about, right? Although my groups are not, but when I come there, I want to ask, do you have restaurants that are plant-based or vegan or whatever? And Debbie was the one to say, yeah, there's several of them here. Let's check out this one. Not It wasn't 100% vegan, and that's fine, but it did have quite a few vegan options, and that's what I look for. Okay. So once again, Courtyard by Marriott, Old Town Pasadena, 314 guest rooms, 4,100 square feet of meeting space. This one of the restrooms. One of one of the guest rooms. Okay, one of the 314 guest rooms. Very nice, well appointed, like they say. Oh, so well appointed. Oh, I love it. Uh, okay, so that's a guest room. That's the lobby. I see some dude right there. He's working on his phone or whatever. Um, like I said, it's very nice, very open lobby. A lot of little spaces to do your work and just be. If you have a computer there, which I travel with my computer all the time, my laptop, and they had a lot of little working areas right against the back wall over there. You just, no one's bothering you. You're not bothering anyone. It's just you kind of in your own world, but you're right there in the lobby of the hotel, right? But the Wi-Fi works well, and that's what you want. You want that free Wi-Fi, okay? So take it from me. Go check out go check out hotels and use the free Wi-Fi. Okay. Okay. And then of course, every hotel has a pool, right? So I had to take a picture of that. You look at that, you see the foliage coming down, and then the pool. Pool's not very big. In fact, it's bigger on this photo. It looks really small. It's actually bigger than that in real life, right? But it's not that big, but it's enough to get your feet wet if that's what you want to do. And Pasadena does get kind of warm, right? So in the summer. So, but no, that's the hotel. That's the Courtyard Marriott in Old Pasadena. Topic for today, real quick. Real quick. Do I see any other comments? Let me just see. Go back to IG, see if there's any comments. No, but once again, thanks, Chito, and thank you to Become Your Own Boss podcast. Appreciate you coming on, and feel free to make comments. I'm still watching you, so feel free to make your comments. So, topic: when the market changes, your hotel or destination must adapt. Right. So, a lot of things. And this has been going on where booking windows have been shorter. Things that clients maybe wanted 6 months ago, they may not want anymore. So you have to kind of see what's going on in the market, find out what's going on in the market, and then adapt to the market, right? Because if you don't, you get left behind. And that's in everything, right? So that's in AI, that's whatever, that's technology. If we don't adapt, we get left behind. So hotels and destinations are the same thing. Salespeople, we have to, but what never goes out of style is creating relationships. Okay. That never goes out of style, right? So we always have to do that. But yeah, booking windows change. People are looking for different things. They want more, maybe, what am I trying to say? They want to be closer to things. Like I said, the booking window may have gone from 18 months to 6 months. So they're looking right now. So they're ready to book now, right? So because it's in 6 weeks from now, okay. But if we're taking too long to respond to them, guess what? They're going to move along to the one that has responded to them. So now it's very important that we respond as soon as possible. But I remember back in the day when I was a director, even when I was a sales manager at certain hotels, that we had to respond to leads by the end of the day. Okay, so we didn't, even if you had to stay over, we had to stay over. Okay, and that's what I did, right? I stayed over, especially at the Westin Bonaventure. We got leads in all day long, right? And sometimes they'll come in at 4 o'clock, 4:30, and I'm leaving at 5, right? Well, that means I have to I have to send something back, right? Because we were being monitored. Okay, we were being monitored. Our feet were held to the fire. Okay, so you had to respond by end of the day. Okay, or you need to have a darn good reason why you didn't respond the next day, because they would know. They would know. So, but anyway, the topic once again: when the market changes, your hotel or destination must adapt. Where are we? Where did I put that? Where did I put that? Number one. And like I said, these are not going to take long. How much time do I have? I'm at 19 minutes right now. See, I said about 30 minutes, right? So we're good right now. We are good. Adjust your message. What worked 6 months ago may not be what people need to hear today. If travelers and meeting planners or meeting professionals are more concerned about convenience, flexibility, safety, or staying closer to home, your message should reflect that. Talk about what matters to them right now, not what mattered last year. So if you're hearing these things or your clients are telling you these things, we can be flexible. We can do exactly what you want us to do. Oh, that's great. That falls right into our plans. I mean, we love that. We love groups that, are last minute or whatever the heck it is. We're flexible. Salespeople have to be flexible. They have to understand what's going on, the climate of what's going on. Because a lot of times, this happened to me, right? Where I had a group that was going out of the country. Actually, it was supposed to take place this month. And I was going to go with them, okay? But because of the climate of what's going on in the world, they canceled, okay? So Well, I'm left holding the bag, basically. But no, they had to regroup and rethink what they're going to do, and now they want to do something domestically, but it's within several weeks, right? So hotels need to be flexible and understand that there's some groups out there that had planned to do things, overseas or another country, but because of what's going on, they decided not to do. So what are they doing? They still have to meet, right? So they're scrambling around trying to find things. So that's one of my clients did that, and we're still looking for something because I think they're going to meet. I think they moved it out to at least maybe 8 weeks or so. So that's the problem that I have right now. That's what's going on. But I have to adjust. I can't, even me as a business owner, I have to adjust, right? Because I work for the client. People always think, oh, well, you got your own business. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, but the client dictates what my business does or what I do with my business. Okay. So I still have to answer to them if they need to move forward with something because I booked the thing overseas, right? And I had to cancel it. Now I have to try to find another location or a destination here in the United States and rebook it, right? And I got to do this within the next 8 weeks. So, boom, there you go. Adjust your message, okay? I'm flexible, people. I'm here to help, right? That's what I'm here to do as a meeting professional or as a hotel site selection professional, right? I'm here to help, but I work for the client. So whatever the client wants, I have to do. And I love doing it. So whatever it is, bring it on. So but no, I'm looking for hotel partners that would do the same thing. Hotel partners, destination partners that can adjust their message. They can understand and just kind of move with the punches. Okay. So if I'm hitting high, they're gonna duck, right? You know what I mean? They're gonna go low. They're gonna go low, then we go high or whatever the heck it is. But anyway, so yeah. So once again, adjust your message. What worked 6 months ago may not be what people want to hear today. If travelers and meeting planners are more concerned about convenience, flexibility, safety, or staying closer to home, your message should reflect that. Talk about what matters to them right now, not what mattered last year, because that don't matter anymore. What mattered next year or last year doesn't matter today. Number two, recognize that booking windows are shorter. Recognize many. Let me put this up here because I keep looking down. I don't think that's a good thing. But is it okay for me to do that? Let's see. Let me put it on this side. Okay, you can't see what I'm looking at, right? I'm looking at my iPad right here. Many groups are booking closer to arrival than they did in the past. I mentioned that. That means hotels and destinations must be ready to respond faster, follow up quicker, and stay flexible. You got to be flexible. The first proposal and the fastest response often have an even greater advantage when clients are making decisions in a shorter time frame. So yeah, you want to make sure you're responding as soon as possible, not the next day, by end of the business day. Okay, if you can do it shorter or sooner than that, then yeah, that's what they're looking for, right? So especially if I'm sending out an RFP right now in April, and the program is in June. That's a short turnaround time. Okay. So I need that ASAP. I'm sending it ASAP. I need it back ASAP. So those are the things we have to like remember, like, okay, we have to adjust accordingly. Okay. As sales professionals, we have to do that, right? So there you go. Number two. Okay, that was number two. And number three, stay visible and reconnect with past clients. So, regardless of what's going on, stay visible and reconnect with past clients. When the market changes, do not wait for the phone to ring or the emails to blow up. Okay. You can't wait for that. You cannot wait for that. Reach back out to past clients, previous groups, and planners you have worked with before. They already know your hotel or destination. At the same time, continue to stay visible on LinkedIn and social media. When people are ready to book, they will remember the brands they continue to see. So if they don't see you, they don't know what you do or they forget about you. And no one wants to be forgotten, right? Do you want to be forgotten? Well, stop posting things and people will forget you, okay? So it's all about being strategic. It's all about being intentional. Okay? I'm not saying just throw out a bunch of crap, right? But let people know that you are flexible. Okay. I'm flexible, which means my hotel is flexible because you can't say the hotel's flexible because the hotel is not a person. It can't control anything. Okay, doesn't have any feelings or emotions. You do, and you know the feelings and emotions that your clients have, right? So you have to be the one. You're the mouthpiece for your hotel or your destination because the destination can't do anything on its own, right? So just remember the brand is you, and you're the one that has to do that. So stay visible and reconnect with your past clients. Don't wait for the phone to ring, which a lot of people we don't answer the phone anyway. Or we're waiting for emails to come through, right? Bing. Oh, I got an email. Okay. Let's don't wait for that. We all have a database of clients or guests that we've had in the past. Let's start reaching out to those people. Mass emails, these are things that we're doing. These are things that we've changed. We welcome the last minute groups. You know what I mean? Those kind of things. We're flexible. Whatever it is, make sure you let your clients know that because they're looking for hotels and hotel partners or destination partners that are flexible as well. Because the way the society is right now, or the market is, it dictates that you are flexible. Okay, so just make sure you let them know that because they may not know. Like, oh, I did business with them before and they weren't flexible at all. Well, let them know that you are flexible and you want that business. Boom, there you go. So there you go. So once again, and I'll start at the top. When the market changes, your hotel or destination must adapt. Number one, adjust your message. Okay, whatever worked 6 months ago ain't working today. Number two, recognize that booking windows are shorter. Yeah, I got a program. This is April. I got a client that needs something in June. Okay, that's a short turnaround time. And number three, stay visible and reconnect with past clients. Don't wait for them to call you. Don't wait for them to email you. Reach out, send them a newsletter. Do you have newsletters? Do you guys do newsletters? I mean, newsletters are easy to do, right? What's going on in the hotel? What's going on in the area? Just send that stuff out. Boom, boom, boom. Use Canva, all that stuff. Send it out because it's all about elevating one's brand, right? And staying visible is that, right? So you got email campaigns you can do. You can do things on LinkedIn as well. Okay. I do things. I'm a big proponent of LinkedIn. I mean, hence, this show is on LinkedIn as well. So let's just make sure that we're doing all the things that we can. But, and for the sake of this topic, remain flexible. That's the thing. As salespeople, we always have to remain flexible. So that is it, I think. Let me just check what's going on Instagram. Anything else over there? I don't see anything else over there. But yeah, so I think I do have a quote here. I always have a quote. When the market changes, great hotels and destinations change with it. Boom. There you go. So, are you a great hotel or a great destination? If you are, you change with the market. Okay. If you're not great, then you don't change with the market. You're trying to push whatever agenda you had, before things change, right? Like, okay, well, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to keep it moving. Same thing. I'll give you another example, like World Cup. Okay. World Cup, this huge thing, oh my God, it's coming to the US, coming to LA, coming to New York. Okay, yeah, this is great, right? Well, things in the how can I say this? The climate has changed, right? The climate in the US and around the world has changed, right? People are getting stranded trying to come here or going abroad, right? I mean, people are getting stranded. They don't know if they're going to get back. Eventually they're going to get back, but it's harder to get through TSA lines, and if they're on strike and this and that. Well, that's the climate of what we're dealing with, right? Remember, this stuff goes around the world, right? It's not just here, isolated here in the US. It affects everyone traveling in and out of here, Europe, wherever, right? So we know those things are going on, right? So we have to remain flexible, and because people are going to, maybe cancel or not come in like we thought they were, like World Cup. Okay, so World Cup, we think we're getting all these rooms, right? Well, here in LA, I can only speak for LA, and well, I think I can speak for the whole United States, but specifically LA because I've talked to people here, and The numbers aren't what they thought they're going to be. They're thinking, and the rates were, they had the rates high and all this stuff. And there's just now they're starting to come down on the rates because the business they thought was coming in is not coming. Okay, well, at least they haven't committed yet, right? So that's another. We have to be flexible. We have to. The market has changed, right? So we have to do what? We have to adapt to the changes. That's a prime example. World Cup, we thought it was going to be, we're going to start, $500 rates. We're starting at 500. I've gotten, $1,200 rates and all this kind of stuff. Well, the demand is not there. So, which means we have to bring those rates down and readjust what we're doing. Our strategy has to change. We have to adapt to what's going on. So those are the things that I'm talking about, right? That's a real life, real time example. And if they do come, it's going to be at the last minute. Okay. Remain flexible. Okay. So just use that as an example. What's going on in the World Cup? Some hotels do have groups. Are they going to cancel? They're looking for, some of them are looking for cancellations where they don't get penalized, right? I don't want a strict cancellation clause because I don't know what's going to be happening. And sometimes we have to be flexible. If that's the climate of what we're dealing with, we have to be flexible. We can't hold them to this. They're not going to sign it. They're not going to sign those agreements, right? So let's just be mindful of those things because everybody, we look at these as opportunities to make for the hotel to do well. Of course, we do. Olympics coming up, or the Super Bowl next year, or whatever. And I'm speaking of Los Angeles. But we have to be mindful what's going on. What is the climate going on outside of our little bubble? Okay, so we have to remain flexible. So there you go. So I hope that was good for you. Was that good for you? Oh my God, it was good for me. So, but anyway, woo, that was a good one. So anyway, hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys have a great day, great week. Here in LA, it was supposed to rain. I guess it rained a little bit yesterday, but not as much rain as they thought it was going to, do. And now today is kind of, for the most part, sunny. It was sunny enough for me to water my own grass because I hate, depending on the weather, oh, it's going to rain, 80% chance of rain. Oh, it rained, but it didn't rain hard. It didn't rain long, right? So today it was sunny and my grass looked dry. It looked parched. So I said, you know what? I got to throw some water on this. And plus I had to throw some fertilizer on there as well. So, I need some green. I need a greener yard. Okay. So, and I can see the sun peeking through right now. So it is a little cloudy, but not cloudy where you think it's going to rain. Right. So, but anyway, so I'm not sure. It's probably about in the 60s. I would say it's about 65 degrees right now. So it's a nice day, a nice day to get out and get your walk on. So I think I'll do that. Maybe I'll walk around the block and see what's going on. I haven't done that in a while. So anyway, that is it. Thank you guys so much for joining this daily check-in with Russell of Hotels. Remember, I do this Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I also do a show called On Air with Russell of Hotels that comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So that show has the only time slot, 1 o'clock, okay, on Tuesday. The daily check-in, I do it Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but I don't have an exact time. Mondays are devoted to Miss Tiffany, but Miss Tiffany is traveling today. So, I'm on my own, right? But, just remember, I'm near Hollywood. In fact, some days I can see the Hollywood sign from where I live. And, what's the thing about Hollywood? The show must go on, okay? So regardless of who is supposed to come on, if they don't come on, the show's going to go on, right? Because you have to be intentional about your marketing, about your branding, okay? So if something doesn't line up with what your agenda is, you still have to do what you do, right? Remember, marketing and branding your hotel, your destination, or whatever thing your business is in hospitality, marketing and branding has to take precedence over everything, right? So if someone doesn't want to come on, you had somebody scheduled, whatever, you can still come on and talk. You still talk about your brand. You still talk about what you're doing. You can still talk about the industry, right? So it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter if people don't want to come on the show or they get busy or whatever, they have to reschedule. That's fine. I'll reschedule, but you have to continue to do what you do. You have to adapt. The same thing I just talked about with World Cup and the market changes. Well, that's a change in my market, right? So you still have to be intentional about what you do. You still have to reach out to people. You still have to, put information or content out there for people to remember who you are, what you do, and how you can help. Those are things that we always should have in our arsenal, okay? Our sales arsenal. Let people know who you are, what you do, and how you can help. You can tell I'm having a good time with this. So anyway, that is it. Let me just make sure I check Instagram, see anyone else or any comments. No comments there. Appreciate you guys for joining. And once again, check out tomorrow, I'm sorry, On Air with Russell of Hotels. That will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock PST. That means in California it's 1 o'clock. On the East Coast, that's 4 o'clock. All right. Anyway, until tomorrow, guys have a great day. And as always,